Welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Todd.
Welcome into another edition of Inside Hilltopper Athletics. I am Todd Allum. Joining me for this first segment, the head coach of West Liberty football, Roger Wiley. Coach, great weekend this past weekend, festivities with homecoming. West Liberty had over 4,350 people attend the football game. The Toppers would win it 21-9. Congratulations to the homecoming king and queen, Kobe Hill and Abby Horvath. But Coach, the Toppers had a great game in this one. Levi Goulion, 3 touchdown passes, almost 250 yards. Had a big one right before halftime or in the first half, 81 yards to Ben Turner. Just a great play overall from the offense.
Yeah, I mean, we left some points out on the field, but as a coach, you look at sometimes things negatively. But the positive things, we did what we needed to do to win the football game offensively. I thought our defense kind of carried us through the game, even though we bent at times. We put them in some bad situations and behind the sticks and some unmakeable first downs just by tackles for loss and forcing them into some penalties, holdings, and things like that. But, overall, good team effort. Our special teams played very well. They got the onside kick that should have been our ball right there just because of some changes in the rules a few years ago, but it missed the call. And the big thing is we were able to overcome those things, and that's what you look at a team maturing is not dwelling on what happened in the past. Just move on and keep playing, move on and keep playing. And I think that was the biggest thing that I saw the difference in this team is that they didn't hang their hat on the negative things in the game. They just kept doing what was positive for them and determining the outcome of the game. But going back offensively, we have big play capability. All of the running backs are really good. And then you look at outside, you got Kirst, you got Ben Turner, and then the Keese made some big plays, big catches in the game. And then, what people forget is a tight end. Valgo's a weapon out there. And so, with those things, one thing that really came to me during the game, before the game, and after the game, we were planning to redshirt Colbert. And 5 minutes before the game, they told me, Tavo can't play today, and I'm thinking, okay, here we go. And so we talked. Coach Hopkins actually talked to him and said, hey, if you play today, we got to burn your red shirt. And he said, yeah, let's do it. And so that was one thing I think the team looked at is that he sacrificed himself for the team to get the win and played well at left tackle. We're starting a lot of freshmen. He had 2 starts when Tavo was out. And then the left guard is a true. So we played, you're in the middle of the year. They're not freshmen anymore, Harper and Colbert. And so, offensive line play was good anytime you can throw for that many yards. And I thought we were somewhat balanced, and you look at the stat line with Hunter Patterson. He had like 78 yards rushing and 50-something yards receiving. Well, we're doing enough things to keep defensives unbalanced at times, and we're pretty unpredictable of what we'll do when we'll do it.
Something else that I noticed in this game against Wesleyan, they brought in a second quarterback later on in the game, a little bit more mobile. The defense seemed to handle that pretty well. It was nice seeing the younger guys coming off the edge, like Thompson seemed to have a pretty good game, quite a few pressures. I thought he played well for a young player.
Yeah, we're improving, and even there, we're starting, inside we're experienced. But off the edge, those guys are learning every game. They're becoming more of a factor in every game. And what we look for our defensive ends is to make explosive plays. And Thompson has made some explosive plays coming off the edge. But, obviously in the blitzing package, Trent Crawford made some of the most explosive plays in the game. And he has to play at that level for our defense to have the success they got to worry about him coming off the edge or covering, and we're figuring out what he's going to do. And if they're able to figure out when he's coming, it puts us behind the 8 ball defensively. And so, just mixing it up. Defensive staff did a great job. We changed the techniques of the corners. of how they were playing, and I think it showed. We were faster to the run. I thought Elijah Moore-Smith had his best game out there, and then we rotated safeties in, and, DJ Johnson is doing better. We need him to get better every week. But, overall, it was a great performance by the defense.
Yeah, there were some plays, too. Mason Gates was another name that I think of, whether it was special teams almost coming up with the play. I think almost got a block punt. I think a pass breakup defensively for him as well. So it seemed like the Toppers defense, everybody as a whole, all three phases, played very well in this.
And like I said in the beginning, it was a good team win. We played well in all three facets for the first time this year, and we're going to have to continue to do that. They had one kick return. And you don't put blame, but the ball wouldn't kick into the area we were covering, and then we got to retreat and run, and, they held them from getting a touchdown. But, other than that play, special team-wise, I can't think of any that we messed. I thought our punting game was sound. When you got a true freshman returning punch, you almost, as much as you try to talk to him about, hey, be safe, he is somewhat right. But I know that as a coach, you want somebody with no fear out there, and Josh Veen has no fear out there. I mean, he'll catch the ball with a guy a foot from him and not fair catch it. And so, but he has to make sure he does it smartly.
Well, again, the Toppers get a big win in this one, 21-9 on homecoming weekend. Huge crowd there. Again, congratulations to homecoming king Kobe Hill and queen Abby Horvath. The Toppers' next game, they travel to Glenville State next Saturday for a 1 p.m. kickoff. Some familiarity there with the coaching staffs. Coach Keller and Coach Hill had been here previously. Both staffs know each other well. What do we expect to see from the Pioneers?
Well, they're very good defensively. I mean, they've held some high-scoring teams to way under their scoring averages, and so it starts with that defensively for them. Is they're going to come in and try to stop the run, and then keep everything in front of them in the pass game. And then you look at offensively, they're running the ball so effectively, they've monopolized the clock against a lot of these teams that put a lot of points on the board. They got a big quarterback with a big arm. They got some receivers that can, if you commit totally to the run, they can get behind you. So it's going to take the same type of effort. We got to win the defense, special teams battles, and our offense has to be opportunistic. But you hit the nail on the head. What scares us is the familiarity, and the same thing on their side.
Yeah.
We're so familiar on what each other do with, Coach Hill working on our defensive line and Coach Keller running running the offense here and doing things very similar down there. It's always a coin flip because of the familiarity. We know what they're going to do. They know what we're going to do. Now, whoever stops it is going to win the game. But the big thing in this game and in this rivalry against Glenville, the determining factors have been turnovers. Last year we played pretty free of turnovers in the first half and got out to a big lead. Then we turned it over a couple times in the second half, and here they came. You look at the year before, we threw 7 picks. You're not going to win any games throwing 7 picks. So it's going to come down to turnovers, who can take care of the ball and make unless somebody's very patient and able to go grind the ball all the way down the field, you can't give teams extra possessions. And so they're very experienced in their defense, meaning there's a lot of kids on there that I've seen starting for 4 years. This is their 4th year starting, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. Now, offensively, they feature 2 pretty good tailbacks in Wood and Rucker was at WVU for a couple years and went to Bowling Green or Miami of Ohio and transferred in. And this is probably going to be the biggest offensive line that we've seen. I mean, they probably average about 6'5" and 320 across the front. And so, we got to work. But any team in this conference, you got to come to play every week, else they're going to make you look dumb.
Well, I like the intriguing thought where you got Coach Hill on the defensive side for Glenville State. He is an alum of Glenville State. For West Liberty, we've got Dakota Conwell, an alum of West Lib, on the offensive side of the coaching staff for West Liberty. So this will be a fun back and forth to see how these two teams match up. Again, folks, that'll be this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. at Glenville State. So please tune into that. Coach, thank you for taking time out of your morning to be with us. Folks, continue to stay here with us. We'll be right back for more Inside Hilltopper Athletics.
Disasters happen. Pick the team that takes care of them all. Powered by offices in Wheeling, Morgantown, and Pittsburgh, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration is ready to handle any size emergency at a moment's notice. We have the right people, knowledge, and equipment to respond 24 hours a day.
I'm Roger Wiley. When disaster strikes your home or business, tell your insurance provider you prefer the restoration company the Hilltoppers call, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Todd Ullum.
And welcome back to Inside Hilltopper Athletics. Joining me now, the head coach of women's volleyball, Mackenzie Johnson. Coach, thank you for being with us this morning.
Yeah.
This past week, 3 matches for volleyball. First one against a huge rival at Wheeling. The Toppers fell in 4 sets, 3-1. Tough one for the Toppers to take against a rival, but what are some of the positives you can take from this match?
Yeah, I think we started that match out really strong. Going into that match, I already knew, when Wheeling gets to 13th point first, they're more than likely, to win that set. So I kind of told the girls, we have to play the short game. That's something that we've been working on, taking every set, mini games of 5, and winning those mini games. So seeing them come out with a lot of fire, a lot of consistency and discipline was really good to see. I think that, we had them a little bit shaken up there in the first set. So, as a coach, you got to give yourself a pat on the back for that in terms of preparation. But, seeing the girls rally back and kind of stick together through the tough losses throughout that match was good. I think Grace Hill had a really, really good match. I think that was the first time that she had double-digit kills this year, so that was really good to see her kind of, that was a, what do they say, like a coming out moment for her, so that was awesome to see, yeah.
Grace Hill had 11 kills in this one. Dakota Kenny, 18 assists. Haley Zeck, 14. Bella Dart with 14 digs. The Toppers have to move on quickly after that one as they prepared to travel to Davis and Elkins for their next one, but the Toppers won in straight sets, 3-0. They raced out. You got to the 14-4 lead in the opening set on the way to winning 25-16. To come out in that first set and get that big of a lead, was that the bounce back you were looking for?
Yeah, definitely. I was talking to Coach Cassie Seth earlier last week, kind of after that, in between that Wheeling loss and then moving on for the weekend, and she talked to me a lot about resiliency and kind of what that looks like to train it with your team, and that starts with our mindset. So that conversation I shared with our girls, and just to see their resilient mindset grow through practices and kind of shine in that moment was super awesome to see. And it's one of those moments where, as a coach, you start to hear the things that you tell your players, they're now mimicking that on the court, so it kind of just makes your heart a little bit warm. But coming out with a strong lead, I think our serving was super aggressive throughout the weekend. I think our serve receive was pretty consistent for the most part throughout that match, and then that allowed for our offense to be on as well.
And Haley Zeck, again, she had the 14 assists in the match against Wheeling. She had 15 in this one against Davis and Elkins. But after that, the Toppers would again have to quickly move on, get prepared for another match as you travel to West Virginia Wesleyan. The Toppers able to get through this one as well, 3-1, winning 3 sets to 1. Good match for these Toppers. What was your take on this one as the continued bounce back from that Wheeling match?
Yeah, I think Wesleyan was one of our tougher opponents this week. Besides Wheeling, kind of looking at who they are, they're super scrappy. They don't let a ball drop. I think that their blocking is pretty consistent, but our blocking showed up as well. I think Haley Zeck, she's had a phenomenal week, a phenomenal season, and just having her leadership on the court is really everything for us. She's kind of level-headed. She holds our girls accountable. She finds her middles in the right moment. She pushes her pins in the right moment. So, having her out there is really good for our team. And then, keeping our serves aggressive, keeping our serve receive consistent is the biggest thing. Our outsides, they touch the ball a lot during the play, whether it's the first touch, the third touch, or on our defensive block. So trying to get them, to find their discipline, find their consistency was the biggest thing in that match.
Well, after this match, the Toppers are now 5-2 in conference play in the MEC. In this one, Ashley Kudnick had 13 kills. Riley had 10. Haley Zeck, again, 18 assists. Dakota Kenny, 17. Grace Yoder had 17 digs. Ashley Kudnick, 14. Dakota Kenny, 10. Just trying to get as much of these stats in there to let these people know. Toppers are playing well right now.
Yes.
Make sure you get out and a chance to see them this coming week, as the Toppers have 2 home games, home matches. Friday, the 25th at the ASRC, 7 p.m. Glenville State comes to town. The first time you've faced them this season, what can we expect to see from the Pioneers?
Yeah, I think that kind of like Wesleyan, they're a very scrappy team. They have a few key hitters in their offense, but overall, I tell the girls when we are playing teams from the Southern Division, we just have to play our game. We only get to play them once, so having good matches against these teams is really important because it's not like we can split with them. So taking care of our side of the net is the biggest thing.
And also, again, I'm not going to ask you too much about getting too far ahead of yourself, but Concord also on Saturday, the 26th at 1 p.m., also at the ASRC. So back-to-back days for the Lady Toppers. Make sure you get up here and get a chance to see them as they take on some conference opponents they're only going to face one time during the regular season this year. Other festivities, we had homecoming this past weekend. Halloween is right around the corner. You told us about the team Halloween party. Fill us in on how that went.
Yeah, so we do a Halloween party every year. Normally we do like pumpkin painting, things of that nature, but this year we kind of switched it up. We did a PowerPoint party. It's kind of trending on TikTok right now. So basically the girls, each of them chose like a different topic. One of them did what role everyone would play in her wedding. One of them did like a guess who, so she got like a bunch of funny stories and like little like what they called their like stuffed animal when they were younger, and then the team tried to guess it. One of them did like what character from the Hunger Games everyone is. So just getting together as a team. They all brought their favorite candy, wore their Halloween pajamas, and celebrating the holiday. I think that's good team bonding. Kind of see their creative side. When we do like crafts and stuff, the same people are winning because they're very artsy and stuff like that. So I tried to level up the playing field here, and we had a good time.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here with us.
Yeah.
The Lady Toppers have been on a tear this past week. Hopefully that continues again. Make sure you get to the ASRC Friday night, the 25th at 7 p.m. as the Toppers host Glenville State. And then the following day, on Saturday the 26th at 1 p.m., a quick turnaround. They will take on Concord at the ASRC as well. Coach Johnson, thank you for being here this morning.
Yeah.
And folks, we will be right back for more Inside Hilltopper Athletics.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Todd Ullum.
Welcome back to Inside Hilltopper Athletics. Joining me now, the women's head coach of soccer, Pete McMenemy. Coach, this past week, Toppers had a couple games. The first one at Davis and Elkins. The Toppers would win this one 4-2. Ellie Cunningham scored a pair of goals. She got the first one in the 10th minute of the game. Davis and Elkins would then come back, tie the game, take the lead in the 49th minute. Then all of a sudden, the Toppers went insane, getting 3 goals in about 6 minutes. Huge offensive outburst. First of all, what a game for Ellie Cunningham. Speak on her getting the 2 big goals in this one.
Yeah, Ellie's worked really hard, obviously. She's a senior player for us. she's probably had to be patient in terms of a lot of or as many opportunities as what she would have liked this year. But certainly in the last kind of 2 or 3 weeks, she's went from strength to strength, and it was pleasing for obviously not only her but for the team as well to see her get 2 goals. The first one she doesn't know too much about, but she's in the right spot and she's there. And then the second one is, kind of a typical striker's goal that they want, kind of 6 yard, and she just gets something on it and diverts it towards a goal. But she has to be there, and she reacts well to it, and she deserved to get the 2 goals.
And later on in this match, again, the Toppers would score 3 goals in a matter of 6 minutes. Quick strike ability. Mia Zeka was able to get her team-leading 5th goal to tie the game in the 66th minute, then 2 more for the Toppers to take the 4-2 win. That quick strike ability, is that something you've seen building with this team as the season has gone on?
Yeah, to be honest, we've always been a team that kind of prided ourselves on trying to be a team that score goals and is attacking and is on the front foot. I think at times we've created a lot of opportunities, but we haven't necessarily took them. And Wednesday was a good reflection of how, when we take our chances, we can make the game so much easier for ourselves. So it was definitely pleasing to see, and something that we try to tell the team as well is try to be kind of relentless on the front foot at all times. And once we got the second one, we were pushing to get the win. There wasn't any kind of thought in our mind of let's settle and take a draw on the road or take a tie. We wanted to try and win the game, and the girls did that. So they deserved it. They deserved the victory, and certainly that's something that we want to try continue with. We want to score as many goals as possible.
And the Toppers would then, after that big win, travel back home, trying to keep the momentum going, and had what some would consider a pretty wild game against Concord. Would end up 8-3 at the end of the day. But Coach, just a bit of a wild game in this one.
Yeah, crazy game, to be honest. I actually think during the course of the game we played pretty well. It's just some really poor defensive actions on our part, and 1 or 2 things that Concord did really well. They had 2 efforts from distance that were, I don't think the goalkeeper our goalkeeper had too many chances with the 2 shots that they've hit from distance. Where we just spoke about how we need to be a lot harder to create opportunities against, and a lot more rigid defensively. Offensively, I think there was a lot for us to be happy about, and a lot of positives to take. I mean, it's not very often you score 3 goals in a game and you lose the game. So that is a positive, but we have to be a lot more watertight defensively if we want to progress.
Mia Zeka also able to get another goal in this one to add to her team-leading total. The Toppers' next game will be Wednesday the 23rd. Tomorrow they travel to Fairmont State, 7 p.m. Kickoff. This will be a revenge game. The Toppers fell to Fairmont at home 5-1 September 15th. What's going to be the mindset going into this one?
I think we have to go there with the mindset that we want to win the game. For us, I think we felt that was obviously the first kind of conference game of the season, and we felt we just didn't give a fair reflection of how we are as a team. So we have the opportunity to right some wrongs tomorrow night, and that's what we'll be looking to do. We want to be positive. We want to attack the game. We obviously know that we have to be defensively sound, because Fairmont are a strong team. They're well worthy of their place right now in the conference and the wins that they've had. So we have to be mindful of that. But again, I don't think we have necessarily any fear going there. I think we've got to be on the front foot and look to try and win the game.
Topper Nation, be sure to check this one out again tomorrow night, Wednesday the 23rd at 7 p.m. The Toppers go to rival Fairmont State and looking for revenge from a previous loss this season. Then Sunday, October 27th at 1 p.m., the Toppers back home against Salem. Big win against Salem earlier this year, September 18th. 9-1 was the final score of that one. Not to make you jump too far ahead, you got Fairmont State first, but Salem coming up this weekend. What can we expect to see from them?
Well, first and foremost, it's a special day for us because it's our senior day. So I think we have 10 seniors that'll be that'll be graduating after this year. So that'll be a really important day for us in itself, so that we can honour them in the kind of the work and the efforts that they've put forth for the programme. They've been a massive part of what we've tried to do this year and last year, and definitely their kind of impact on the programme will go far beyond after they graduate. So for us, it's first and foremost important to kind of honour them and value their contributions. And then secondly comes the contest itself. I think we want to be a team again that is ruthless. So we have to prepare as we would for any other game, and we have to go and try to want to score goals and win the game.
Homecoming was this past weekend at West Liberty University. Did the team do anything special for homecoming?
Yeah, so we had on Saturday we had a little tent with some kind of soccer memorabilia that people could purchase. We had a lot of help for parents and family members, which they were fantastic. Again, I can't thank them enough for the contributions that they've managed to bring to the programme and the help that they've given to us. We had a little soccer challenge where people were trying to get the ball through the hoop for some gift card prizes, and 3 people got it. So they walked home with a $25 gift card to kind of some places. So it was good fun. Everybody enjoyed that. Again, it's a kind of special weekend for everybody. So it was glad to see us be just a small part of it, and everybody enjoyed themselves. So.
Tremendous, Coach. Again, thank you for taking time out of your morning to be with us. Good luck tomorrow night as you travel to Fairmont State. Big rivals there, folks. Be sure to tune into that one. Stay tuned here as we will be right back for more on Inside Hilltopper Athletics.
Disasters happen. Pick the team that takes care of them all. Powered by offices in Wheeling, Morgantown, and Pittsburgh, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration is ready to handle any size emergency at a moment's notice. We have the right people, knowledge, and equipment to respond 24 hours a day.
I'm Roger Wiley. When disaster strikes your home or business, tell your insurance provider you prefer the restoration company the Hilltoppers call, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Todd.
Welcome back to Inside Hilltopper Athletics. Joining me, the head coach of men's soccer, Sean Regan. Coach, 2 matches this past week. First at Davis and Elkins. The Toppers fell in this one 1-0. They go to 2-6-1 after this game in conference play. But from some of the things that I've read and saw, this was a pretty physical match. Was it the most physical one of the season for you?
Yeah, it was a tough one. We started off pretty poorly in the first 20 minutes, and Dini was able to jump up, get 1-0 up, and then that ended up being their only shot of the game. In the next 70 minutes, we just totally dominated. But it was a very stop-start, lots of fouls here, not really any time to really kind of get your momentum. And we probably weren't as clinical in front of goal that we should have been. So that was kind of one of the reasons that we were kind of behind for a lot of the game. But we just couldn't really catch our flow after that. So.
A tough one for the Toppers at Davis and Elkins. Again, 1-0 was the final for D&E to get the victory. Toppers have to turn around quickly, go to Frostburg State, not only trying to bounce back from the previous game, but a revenge game from earlier in the season against Frostburg. In dramatic fashion, it ended in the 85th minute. A penalty kick for forehand goes in. Toppers take the lead, win the game. It's almost not quite a walk-off, but it kind of feels like a walk-off.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, because we were a little disappointed when we played them at home and we lost 2-1. We missed a penalty kick in that game to tie it. We thought we were just as good as they were that game, so we knew we needed a little bit of a revenge factor. And then going to Frostburg, their field is extremely small. It's almost 12 yards more narrow than ours, so there's very little soccer being played. The ball's out of bounds constantly. Your second touch is a tackle, so it's another physical game. We got a good goal to go up 1-0, and then they tied it up due to a little bit of dodgy refereeing. We'll leave it at that. And then we were lucky to, in the last 5 minutes to get a penalty, and Zach stepped up and calmly tucked it home. So massive victory for us, big time.
What was that trip home like on the bus?
They were pretty excited, that's for sure. I mean, I think they're more excited to get home for homecoming than they were to win the match, to be honest with you, but it was a good time.
That was going to be my next question, if the team did anything special for homecoming. I know you were on the road in the morning, but coming back, was there anything special done here?
Well, in the morning, we had a nice little ceremony with the original guys from the 70s and 80s to honor the 3 founding fathers of the soccer program. So it was nice. Dr. Borchers was there, and Brad was there to kind of say a few words, and we had the current team there to help bridge the gap between the older guys and the new guys. So the current team was able to see what soccer program means to the alumni, which was great. And I think that gave us a little extra motivation going into the game. I told a story about how these guys haven't played soccer for 30 to 40 years, but yet they're back showing their love and dedication to the program, and it's something that I hope they continue with. So I think that kind of got them a little pumped up, to see that love and support from the older guys. So, and they all encouraged them when they were here to get that victory. So a little added pressure.
And again, the Toppers' next game will be a home game against Concord, October 23rd, tomorrow actually, at 6 p.m. at West Family Athletic Complex. So be sure to get up here, folks, and watch the Toppers take on Concord in a revenge-type game. The last time the Toppers fell 4-0 in September. What can we expect to see from Concord this time?
Yeah, it's going to be a retribution game for us, to be honest with you. The first game against Concord, it was our worst game we played all year, and probably toppled with Concord's best game they played all year. So that's why it was a bit of a hiding. So, we read the riot act to the guys after that game, and they kind of recognized what it's about. So, having scouted Concord the past 3 to 4 games, they're still very good. They're second place in the conference. They're only a point out from first place. But we've kind of identified some weaknesses, and in their game, and we've improved a lot. So, we're basically trying to go out there and prove to ourselves that the first game was just a mistake.
And I don't want you to jump too far ahead. The Toppers have another game, October 27th, versus Salem here at home, Sunday, 3:30. So be sure to get up there. The Toppers won 4-2 early in the season in September against Salem. Can we expect to see similar things from Salem?
Yeah, Salem's actually had a couple good results lately. They tied D&E, and they beat Wheeling. They beat Frostburg, so they're actually doing really well. But no, on Sunday, we're a little banged up, and we've got 2 big games after that with Wesley and Wheeling, as we're still trying to figure out if we're going to be in the playoffs. We can finish high as 3rd if we keep doing our results. So we're going to give some other guys some game time. I think it's important that we've got a lot of guys that have continually worked hard all season. They've played in maybe 4 or 5 matches here in 10 minutes there, 15 minutes. It's important for them to get a start and play a lot so they can gain that experience. So it's going to be an opportunity to prove to themselves and to me that, they're the future of the program.
We got Halloween coming up. Again, we talked about some of the homecoming festivities. Anything special? We talked to some of the other coaches about if they had anything going on for Halloween, anything for the men's soccer team.
No, we're pretty quiet on Halloween. I don't want to give them any leeway because I know what will happen.
So do not dress up as anything coming to practice or to films. Don't do that stuff. We're trying to win here, folks. Yep. Let's be serious, Coach. Thank you for taking time out of your morning to be here with us. Folks, stick around. We'll be right back for the final segment of Inside Hilltopper Athletics.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Todd Ullum.
Welcome back to Inside Hilltopper Athletics. Joining me, the head coach of men's and women's cross country, Jason Falvo. Coach, it is getting towards postseason time.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting a little nervous. Fans, Hilltopper Nation, we're wondering, how are things going to go in the postseason for all of our fall sports, but it's getting there for cross country, the Mountain East Conference Championships at Ogilvie, October 26th, Saturday. It's coming up. Before we started filming, you told me you saw there were a few little course changes.
Yeah, they really, that Ogilvie course at Crispin is probably the most challenging course, and we've talked about that a couple times. I had a chance to go down with the director of the course of our meet and walk through it a little bit yesterday. We're going to make some reasonable changes to help the course be a little bit less challenging. I don't know if that's really a good term. It's going to be better. The course layout's going to be better. A little bit better for the fans to see. A little bit better for us coaches to not be running all over the hills over there. So I'm excited about it. Weather's going to be. The golf course that we run on is in great shape. Crispin's done a really good job down there in their preparation. So it should be a great day. It's supposed to be 62 degrees and 40 in the morning. Like, it's perfect cross-country weather. So we're excited about it. But the subtle changes to the course, I think, will be really good for us.
When you have practices, the mentality of the runners, are they where you want them to be at this point in the season?
Yeah, I think so. And we talked about that talking about the Edinburgh race 2 weeks ago. We used that course as a tune-up. I thought we got super competitive and ran great on both men's team and the women's team. Really turned it up just a little bit, right? I guess that's how we did it. Going into this weekend, we certainly have some high expectations. Our guys, our men's team is really poised to do something that we're going to be happy with. Our ladies team the same way as we continue to improve. So the vibes, as the kids would say, are very good right now. Everybody seems to be in a great spot, and certainly looking forward to it.
And this past weekend was homecoming weekend at West Liberty University. You're the head coach for cross country, also the head coach for indoor track and outdoor track, winter, spring, you're all year round. Was there anything special done during homecoming for either of those, any of those teams?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. It's the first time that I've been here. It's been my 5th year that we were able to be home for homecoming. The previous cross-country schedules to where conference champions were, we were away. So first time we were able to set up a tent and have the whole thing, and it was great. We had a ton of would be recent alumni back in the current world. Got a chance to talk to a couple veteran alumni. It was great. David was his name. Walked right up to me in the tent and goes, "Hey, who's the boss around here?" So that's me, sir. Very nice to meet you. And he was a pole vaulter back in the day for us, did a great job. So a lot of fun. Again, my first homecoming, really, to see it. It was great to see all the Hilltoppers back and talk to a ton of people that I didn't even know were alumni, which was fantastic. People that I've known for years and didn't know. So it was great. Great to talk to a ton of people, and good to see that our alumni are doing well. Everything was positive. It was a good weekend. We got the dub, football team, which is always good to be around, and again, the weather was perfect. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And a special fun holiday coming up as well. It'll be after the Mountain East Conference Championship, but I wasn't certain as a coach, do you ever have anything planned for Halloween for the team?
Yeah, well, you missed the most important holiday coming up. This Friday is my birthday. So
okay.
There we go with that before we go with Halloween. No, but Halloween's great. We definitely with the team do a costume practice. We have talked about, I don't know if we're pulling fully off, a little bit about Halloween, gathering at the house. Party is not the right word, but just a gathering for us. We certainly will do a Halloween costume party practice. Kids will, dress up. We'll take some pictures and run around and stuff. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I know we got trick or treat on campus that we're going to get into with the local elementary schools, and really looking forward to it. So I know as a kid, Halloween wasn't necessarily. I wasn't always allowed to do Halloween, so I certainly look forward to stealing some candy this year and doing some good things. So,
what has been one of the best? If you've done these in the past, costume practices?
Yeah, we have. Mm-hmm.
What's the best costume you've seen?
That's a good question. We've had some hazmat suits. We've had some paintball outfits. We've had impromptu Christmas Story, Randy the little brother, which was great. We had a couple two-person donkey or horse, however you want to call it. Yeah, the kids get real creative. The thing, thing 1, thing 2, thing 3 seems to be a typical theme. We try not to practice in the suits, so give them opportunity to get dressed up and get out of it. But it's been a lot of fun, and the kids really get into it, which is great. I was talking to a couple of our upperclassmen ladies, and they have 3 different outfits for 3 different things they're doing next week. And I'm like, hey, go ahead, be safe, have fun. Enjoy the time. So,
well, I'm glad the kids get a chance to do that kind of stuff. It seems like a lot of the coaches are doing these kind of fun activities for the holidays. It's one of the best holidays, Halloween. Sure. It's definitely one of the most fun. Coach, good luck in the MEC Championships coming up. We look forward to seeing you again next week and following up with the results. Folks at home, thank you for watching this week. That'll wrap it up for this edition of Inside Hilltopper Athletics.
From humble beginnings in 1837, West Liberty University has been home to thousands of students. Whether you're a recent high school graduate or looking to complete a college degree later in life, starting your educational career at West Liberty University will be the catalyst for your future. This is a place where you will discover who you are and where you belong, surrounded by lifelong friends and a supportive faculty and staff. Start your journey home at westliberty.edu.